कर दे रहा हूँ. A very good evening to all of you. Hello and welcome, guys. My name is Kishan Pratap Singh and I welcome one and all to today's episode of Weekly Law Scoop. Welcome Vijay, welcome Aryan, welcome Vishal, hello Ishan. Chale guys. So those of you who are attending this session for the first time, in Weekly Law Scoop we cover important legal updates from past weeks. Before we start, guys, kindly confirm if the audio is fine and all of you can see the screen. Okay, chale, so all well, guys. Chale, let's start. In order to select the best quality, click on the settings tab and pick the best option available. These are the upcoming batches with IMS Get Set Law. If you're preparing for CLAT 22 and if you haven't started preparing with the help of mentors, you can join the ongoing crash course batch. It is going to run continuously Monday to Saturday till your CLAT date. There will be no exam break. For CLAT 23 aspirants, you can join the upcoming batch which is going to start from 20th of April. In order to register or in order to know more about these batches, get in touch with your nearest IMS center or visit imsindia.com. You can also experience IMS CLAT prep without paying any fee. You will get access to limited content. You can register for a CLAT Zero Free program by visiting imsindia.com Zero Free programs. Okay, guys. Well, moving on. The first news item that I want to discuss is from Gujarat High Court. Gujarat High Court has recently declared that love marriage is not an excuse to deprive women of their ancestral property or inheritance rights. So in this case, a 24-year-old woman from Pranjitij Taluka of Sabarkantha district, Gujarat, married her lover and was abandoned by her family. Later on, both her parents passed away and she wanted to inherit property which was earlier owned by her parents. All the relatives were against this. Why? Because they thought that any woman who goes or who marries against the wishes of the family shall not be allowed to inherit any property or any ancestral property. Gujarat High Court, differing from this traditional viewpoint, reiterated that women's property right will not go away just because she decided to marry based on her own choice. The court said that women's right on the property should be safeguarded, otherwise her constitutional right to make the choice of her life partner alone may not give her fulfilling quality life. So court has also asked local police and legal service authority to make sure that she is transferred 2 houses, a shop and an agricultural field which she is entitled to receive from her parents. Okay. Next news item is related to minority status of majority community in our country. Our constitution under Article 29 and 30 provides special rights for minority communities. Supreme Court has recently requested or sought information from the central government. Court wanted to know what is the central government stand on this particular issue. There was a plea filed at the Supreme Court by BJP leader Ashwini Kumar Upadhyay. So Ashwini Kumar Upadhyay's argument is that Hindus are minority in 6 different states of a country. If you look at the picture, you will get more details about it. So Hindus are in minority at Lakshadweep, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Manipur, Jammu and Kashmir, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and Punjab. Earlier, central government was refraining from commenting on this issue. Government never wanted to take a stand. So they were scolded by the Supreme Court and they were also imposed a fine of 7,500. It's pennies or peanuts for central government. So मोदी जी के लिए 7,500 रुपये क्या ही है. Anyways, so the government has now filed their response. Now they are saying that state governments are allowed to grant minority status to any religious or linguistic community, including Hindus, if they want to do so. So now it is up to the state government to decide whether Hindus will be considered minority group in their respective states or not. Okay, moving on. So 3 guys in Agra, UP were jailed. So all these 3 people were from Jammu and Kashmir. They came to Uttar Pradesh to study. They were studying at Raja Balwant Singh Engineering College, and in a recent India-Pakistan match, when Pakistan won, they started celebrating, and they got into a scuffle with other students in their hostel. Later on, criminal complaints were filed against them, and these guys were arrested. So in October 2021, these guys were jailed, and they have been in jail since then. So recently, Allahabad High Court allowed bail for these 3 guys. All these 3 people were charged with multiple provisions: Section 153A, spreading enmity between communities; Section 505(1)(b) of IPC, intent to cause or which is likely to cause fear or alarm to the public; and Section 66F of the IT Act, Information Technology Act, related to cyber terrorism, for sending WhatsApp messages allegedly celebrating India's cricket loss. So if India loses to Pakistan and some people are celebrating, does that make them criminal? Let's see what people have to say. ठीक है, चलिए moving on. Okay, there was another plea filed by some UPSC aspirants claiming that due to the extraordinary situation created by COVID-19, they shall be given age relaxation. That means they shall be given an additional attempt to appear in UPSC Civil Service. UPSC Civil Services is India's most difficult and also sought after exam. Okay, so what do you guys think? COVID obviously created extraordinary situation for many people. Many families suffered. Many people lost their loved ones. And do you think it is a good ground to give an exemption or extension of 1 year to all those people who could not appear in UPSC exam this year? So let's say due to the lockdown that was imposed, or due to your family circumstances, you were not able to travel, or you were not able to prepare well. Shall Supreme Court consider this as an excuse or as a good enough reason to grant an additional attempt to these people? Okay, people are still discussing the previous news item. Aryan says, I understand for 2-3 days, 5 months is too much for celebrating Pakistan's victory. I think they should be given life sentence, isn't it? How dare anyone celebrate Pakistan's victory against India in India? Well, by that logic, all the international matches that are being played in India, no person will be allowed to support the opponents in India. So any team playing against India, they will not be allowed to bring in their supporters in the stadium if we start applying these laws so harshly. So yes, those guys were wrongly imprisoned and court took the right step in granting them bail. Achha, what about this one? What do you guys think? Is it a good decision? Exemption milna chahiye, nahi milna chahiye. Satesh says yes, there should be an exemption, but COVID is not something which justifies giving an exemption. Why? Because if we grant exemption on this ground, then every year people will come up with some or the other disability or some or the other difficulty in their life. Let's say Uttarakhand landslide, or if there is tsunami in some part of India, or flood in Bihar, which is an yearly phenomenon. So every year people will come up with their own set of excuses, and then court will have to grant them exemption based on this precedent. So Supreme Court rightly dismissed this petition, saying that this reason is not good enough. So Supreme Court also sought central government's opinion. Central government has also concurred. Government believes that granting exemption on these grounds will open up a Pandora's box, and every year we will have to face similar petitions from various aspirants. Chaliye. COVID excuse is old. Yes, Ashant, that's correct. Even last year, some people went to the Supreme Court using same excuse, and their petition was also rejected by the court. Okay, moving on. Well, Supreme Court had ordered Government of India to grant ex gratia compensation to all the people who lost their loved ones due to COVID-19. So, COVID compensation scheme. But earlier, when government was putting forth data related to COVID related deaths, number of casualties was very low. But when they announced this scheme of compensation, then that number suddenly surged up, that number skyrocketed. So that created a doubt in the mind of judiciary that are these people genuine victims or they are just trying to get hold of compensation money. So a Supreme Court bench comprising of Justice M.R. Shah and Justice B.V. Nagaratra recently permitted central government to conduct an inquiry into fake claims for ex gratia compensation. So this compensation was meant for the family members of people who lost their loved ones due to COVID-19. But court has put on a rider, court has put on a condition, it declared that only 5% of the claims can be verified in these respective 4 states. And these states are Maharashtra, Kerala, Gujarat and Andhra Pradesh. Why did they single out these states? Because in these 4 states, number of claims, the gap between number of claims and recorded death was very wide. So, number of claimants are much higher than number of people actually registered dead on account of COVID. Court has also set up a period of 60 days which is given to all these people who think they are eligible to apply for this ex gratia compensation. Later on, if there is some dispute regarding this compensation, they will be given 90 days. That means if their application is rejected, if their claim is rejected, then they will get 90 days to approach the court and get it rectified. Okay, moving on. I will just go through the comment section quickly. Aryan says if this was 2 years ago, then I understand that is related to UPSC aspirants. Aryan, even 2 years ago when people went to court, their application was rejected. So if we allow COVID as an excuse, let's say everybody suffered due to COVID. What about an individual who suffered from some special difficulty which others didn't have to face? Let's say somebody's parents died just before the exam, or let's say somebody met with an accident and was bedridden for a couple of months and because of health issues was not able to appear in exam. So if you allow exemption on any ground, then people will come up with many more similar grounds to claim exemption, and therefore in UPSC there is no exemption granted at all. Okay, yes, Riddhi says then for every illness there will be an excuse. That's correct. Charu says like CBSE board exam last year. CBSE didn't take board exam last year. So those people were the lucky lot. कोई exam नहीं देना पड़ा, pass हो गए. Okay, yes, the COVID was not just for one particular community. That's correct. Okay. Charu says, can you cover the Indira Sahni judgment? Charu will definitely cover all the landmark judgments when we are discussing landmark judgments. Today's agenda is to cover recent cases of past few weeks. Okay. Chaliye. So, moving on. A very welcome judgment recently pronounced by Karnataka High Court related to marital rape exemption granted in the Indian Penal Code. So, Karnataka High Court has recently declared that exemption given to husband in marital rape cases cannot be absolute. Let me give you a brief background about it. As per section 375 IPC, which defines rape, it says that rape means a man is said to commit rape who, except in the exceptions provided below, has sexual intercourse with a woman under circumstances falling under the 6 categories. So I have mentioned the first 3. Any sexual intercourse without or against her will, any physical relationship without her consent, or if the consent is taken through coercion. There is one exception listed under section 375. It says sexual intercourse by a man with his own wife, the wife not being under 15 years of age, is not rape. So if a husband is having sexual intercourse with wife, even if she has not consented to it, it wasn't considered rape. This exception was criticized a lot by social activists time and again, but there have been many attempts to get it amended, to get it removed, but everything failed. So recently judiciary has interpreted it in their own way. So court was hearing a petition submitted by a man against whom police has filed a charge sheet for several offences including rape. Wife had accused him of having forceful sexual intercourse right from the beginning of their marriage. The man said that the exception mentioned under section 375 protects him, and therefore his behavior should not be recognized as rape by the court. So to this, Justice Nagaprasanna observed that the institution of marriage does not confer, cannot confer, and it, in my considered view, should not be construed to confer any special male privilege or a license for unleashing of a brutal beast. If it is punishable to a man, it should be punishable to a man, albeit the man being a husband. So if you are not married and you commit similar activity, you are considered an assaulter, a criminal, then even if you are married, your behavior will not get legalized. So a very welcome step. It is an observation of the court, Karnataka High Court. Whether it will stand in the Supreme Court or not is something that still needs to be seen. So abhi Supreme Court is pe kya stand leta hai, we'll get to see in future, but right now it is a very welcome step taken by Karnataka High Court. Moving on. National Commission for Scheduled Tribes is dysfunctional. So the Standing Committee on Social Justice and Empowerment, it is a parliamentary committee headed by BJP's Rama Devi. They recently in their latest report pointed out that the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes has not been able to produce even a single report before the parliament in last 4 years. So 4 साल से NCST एक भी report parliament को नहीं दे पाया है. Well, the reason cited for this inability is that though they came up with multiple reports, they had finalized many reports, but all these reports were withheld by the Union Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So National Commission came up with reports, but the Union Ministry for Tribal Affairs put all those reports on hold, and therefore they were not able to place it before the parliament. Now, bonus question. Who is the current Union Minister for Tribal Affairs? Who is India's current Union Minister for Tribal Affairs? Quickly answer this question. Meanwhile, I will go through your comments. Okay. Ishan says, I oppose this. I don't know what are you opposing, Ishan. Is it parliamentary panel's report or Karnataka High Court's judgment or UPSC's decision or Supreme Court's verdict related to UPSC? Rubbish commission. Okay. Chaliye, so bonus question. Who is the current Minister of Tribal Affairs? Correct answer, Charu is the first one to respond. Yes, Charu, that's the right answer. Correct answer is Mr. Arjun Munda. So Arjun Munda is the current Minister for Tribal Affairs. Okay. National Commission for Scheduled Tribes is vested with all the powers of a civil court while investigating any matter or inquiry into any complaint relating to deprivation of rights and safeguards of scheduled tribes. So, NCST is a constitutional body. So, it is a constitutional body. Similar constitutional bodies were constituted for other backward groups, like we have National Commission for Scheduled Caste, we have National Commission for Women, we have National Commission for other backward classes. Okay. Well, photojournalist Danish Siddiqui's parents have approached ICC, International Criminal Court, against the Taliban. So, Mr. Danish Siddiqui used to work for Reuters. Reuters is world's most reputed and popular news provider. So, he was a photojournalist for them. Many of his photographs got him criticism as well as fame. So the one that you see in this picture, in his background, there is a picture of mass funeral pyres. So, बहुत सारी चिताएं जल रही है साथ में. This photograph was printed on the front page of our dailies back during COVID second wave, and that got him a lot of fame as well as criticism from the people supporting government. Later on, he went to Afghanistan during the Afghan crisis, and he was covering that the news there. Then he was shot in crossfire. Later on, as per the reports, he was captured by the Taliban later, and he was tortured and brutally killed because, as per some reports, because he was an Indian. So Taliban was not friendly with the Indian diaspora, Indian people in Afghanistan. They wanted Indian dams and roads, but they didn't want Indians to be there. So government of India was seen more pro the Afghan government and against Taliban. So right now Taliban is ruling Afghanistan. Okay, chale, couple of bonus pointers. What is ICC? International Criminal Court is the first international permanent court related to criminal justice. It is set up in Hague, Netherlands. ICC came into existence because of a statute which was signed in 1998 in Rome. So ICC statute is popularly known as Rome Statute. So far hundreds plus countries have signed it, but all the major nations which promote and support human rights have not. So countries like India, countries like USA have never, in China we have never ratified this treaty. So India is not a member of ICC. We discussed ICJ in our previous episode when we were discussing about Zelensky's or Ukraine's petition or Ukraine's plea against Russia at ICJ. ICJ deals with International Court of Justice, is a permanent organ of United Nations. It deals with disputes arising among the member nations. So only sovereign states and international bodies can be subject matter of ICJ's jurisdiction. But in ICC, even individuals can approach the court and even individuals can be prosecuted by the court. So Danish Siddiqui's parents have approached the ICC and they have named 6 leaders of Taliban as the war criminals. Their complaint alleges that Danish's killing was both a war crime as well as a crime against humanity. The crime against humanity charge was presented by a lawyer named Avi Singh, and he said that it was important that Taliban's long history of targeting civilians, including but not limited to journalists, makes it probable that Danish's killing was also one of their war crime. Danish was injured by a shrapnel while embedded with the Afghan Special Forces on March 16th. We are talking about last year. While covering the conflict for Reuters, he was taken to a mosque for medical treatment and later on he was accidentally left behind in the confusion of the retreat. Chaliye, so quick pointers related to whatever we have studied. Let's quickly go through a quiz. Let's see kitna aap log ko yaad raha. Today's session is a short session as boards are approaching and many people are busy with that. Joji has a question. If National Commission for Scheduled Tribes have to get it ratified by the Union Ministry, then what is the use of the commission? Well, these commissions serve multifold of purposes. Like they are responsible to promote all these schemes related to that particular backward group. Let's say National Commission for Scheduled Tribes will popularize, spread awareness regarding various central government and state government schemes which have been created for the benefit of people belonging to scheduled tribe. They will also keep a record of all the crimes and atrocities that are taking place against that particular community. They come up with their periodic reports. If those reports are tabled before the parliament, that leads to discussion on any ongoing major issue. So they also work like civil courts. That means they can issue notice, they can summon people, they can seek responses from people against whom allegations have been leveled related to atrocities against scheduled tribes. So it has a very useful purpose, but for last 4 years they have not been able to do anything constructive. That is what the news is all about. Ishan says, where did weekly current affairs session go? Weekly current affairs session is conducted on Sunday, so we'll meet again tomorrow 6:45 p.m. to discuss current affairs of last 1 week. Okay, let's start with the quiz. First question on your screen. Which High Court recently ordered that love marriage is no excuse to deprive a woman of a quality life? So quality life also means right to enjoy your inheritance, right to enjoy your personal freedom. Your options are Bombay High Court, Gujarat High Court, Delhi High Court or Kerala High Court. Quickly guys, let's see. Which High Court recently ordered that love marriage is no excuse to deprive a woman of a quality life? Bombay High Court, Gujarat High Court, Delhi High Court or Kerala High Court? Easy question. How to grasp so much of GK? Please check out current affairs masterclass that we conducted some time back. I have shared a lot many tips related to GK and that. Projector, that's correct. Harshada, that's correct. Arnav, that's right. So everybody got it right. Correct answer is option B, Gujarat High Court. Next question on your screen. Special Marriage Act was enacted in which year? Special Marriage Act was enacted in which year? Bonus question, Hindu Marriage Act was enacted in which year? So you have two questions, one is on your screen, second one is a bonus question. Your options are 1951, 1952, 1953, 1954. Special Marriage Act was enacted in which year? I hope family law cover हो चुका है आपके बैचेस में, so आना चाहिए आंसर, बहुत ही सिंपल है. Special Marriage Act कब आया था? So, the first elected government of India headed by Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru wanted to reform the Hindu law. So, they came up with Hindu Bill in the year 1954. But that bill was so liberal that Hindu community rejected it back then. So, that same law with some nitty-gritty variations, modifications was passed as Special Marriage Act. So, any two people can get married under Special Marriage Act. Even if they are from the same faith, they can apply or they can opt for Special Marriage Act on their marriage. Okay, generally it is used in interfaith marriages. Okay, what about Hindu Marriage Act? Parth says 1952, that's incorrect. 1955, Sanjana, that's correct answer. So next year government again tried to reform Hindu law with a lot many elements from the Hindu scriptures, and that one was accepted by the society. Hindu Marriage Act of 1955. Special Marriage Act 1954, Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Okay, next question. Hindus are in minority in how many states? So Hindus are in minority. Ashwini Kumar Vaishnav has filed a petition in the Supreme Court claiming that Hindus are in minority and therefore they shall be entitled to benefits related to minority. India is the only country in the world where people want to become minority rather than trying to become the majority. Why? Because Indian Constitution under Article 29 and 30 gives special privileges to minorities, and rightly so, in order to preserve the culture and the language. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you guys name all? 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Correct answer is 6. So, Hindus are in minority in 6 states and 2 union territories. Can you name the 2 union territories that were depicted on the picture? So, Hindus are in minority in 2 union territories. Rather, they are in minority in 3 union territories. That picture showed incomplete information. So, in which 3 union territories Hindus are in minority? Okay. One of the UTs was subject to controversy because of governor's order to allow liquor in that union territory. Answer is Lakshadweep. Yes, Adesh, that's correct. Another one is Jammu and Kashmir and also in Ladakh. Chale, moving on. Ministry of Minority Affairs was founded in which year? Difficult question, unless you Google it. Ministry of Minority Affairs was founded in which year? Ministry of Minority Affairs was founded in which year? Okay. People are still discussing the previous question. I think I forgot to reduce the latency of this video live stream. Lakshadweep, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Manipur. Okay, that's in parts. Ministry of Minority Affairs was founded in which year? Your options are 2005, 2006, 2007 or 2008. Ministry of Minority Affairs was founded in which year? 2005, 6, 7 or 8. Correct answer, guys, is 2006. I don't think people would know this one, but it's okay. Moving on. The Dash High Court on Wednesday, March 30th, granted bail to 3 Kashmiri students who had been jailed in Agra under charges of sedition for celebrating Pakistan's victory against India in cricket. So, which High Court granted bail to 3 Kashmiri students from Agra? Your options are Gwalior, Kerala, Allahabad, Jammu and Kashmir. So, answer is based on common sense. If you look at the question, where were they jailed? In Agra. So, which High Court will have jurisdiction? Yes, Sanjana, that's correct. Charu, that's correct. Palash, that's right. Prajakta, that's correct. Correct. Sakshi, that's correct. Correct answer is option C, Allahabad High Court. Acha, chaliye. Bonus question. Which High Court is considered India's largest High Court? Largest not in size but in strength. So, highest number of judges. So, which Indian High Court has highest number of judges? So, India's largest High Court. We are not talking about the building but the strength of the bench. Bonus question. Which Indian High Court is considered the largest High Court? Let's see if you know the answer to this one. Well, answer is on your screen. An answer for the bonus question, no, not Gujarat, Joji. Yes, Charu gave the correct answer. Again, answer is Allahabad High Court. Allahabad High Court is the biggest High Court in our country. Okay. Allahabad High Court is in which district? Bonus question. Allahabad High Court किस district में है? Allahabad High Court is in which district? Out of Delhi is incorrect. Correct answer is Allahabad. But Allahabad High Court is in which district? Chaliye. So, Satej is the first one to give correct answer. It used to be in Allahabad district. Now it is in Prayagraj district. Why? Because UP government during their last tenure, they have changed the name from Allahabad to Prayagraj. So, why didn't they change name of the High Court? Why is it still called Allahabad High Court? Because they can't. So, government cannot change names of the High Court. Okay, moving on. No, it is not important this year, Satej. It was important last year when it was changed. Okay, Kashmiri students were not charged under which of the following sections? Section 153A of IPC, Section 505(1)B of IPC, 66F of IT Act, none of these. Okay. Well, this question is not that important, but if you could remember what was written on the screen, you will be able to answer. Kashmiri students were not charged under which of the following sections? 153A, 505(1)B, 66F, none of these. Well, guys, right answer is D. They were charged with all these provisions. Okay. The existing age range for admission to civil service exam is 21 to dash years with relaxation of certain categories of candidates. So, what is the upper age limit to appear in UPSC civil service exam? Session will be over in 5 minutes or less. The existing age range for admission to civil service exam is 21 to dash years with relaxation of certain categories of candidate. So, what is the upper age limit? 27, 32, 35, none of these. Okay, again Joji, that's incorrect. Charu, that's correct. Satej, that's right. Correct answer is 32. Option B is the right answer. Upper age limit to appear in UPSC is 32. Article 315 to 323 in part dash of the Constitution of India provides for the establishment of Public Service Commission for the Union and a Public Service Commission for each state. Well, this is a very difficult question unless you Google it. And if you're aspiring or if you're appearing in 3-year law entrance exam, then it is very relevant. If you're appearing in 5-year law entrance exam, they don't generally ask questions of this level. So I will straight away give you the answer unless you want to Google it. Okay, right answer for this one is part 14, option A. Sakshi gave the right answer. Governed by an international treaty called the Rome Statute, the ICC, the world's first permanent international criminal court, which of the following countries is not a party to Rome Statute? Which of the following countries are not party to Rome Statute? Your options are India, USA, China, all of these. India, USA, China, all of these. The Rome Statute was signed in Rome in 1998. It came into force in 2002 when it got required number of ratifications. Which of the following countries are not party to the Rome Statute? India is not party to it. Well, neither is USA or China. So the right answer for this one will be option D. Manas gave the correct answer. Charu, that's correct. Arnav, that's right. Sanika, they delete kar diya. Okay, Harshada, that's correct. Correct answer is option D. Recently, Dash has ratified Rome Statute and became the 124th state party to the ICC. So, ICC का 124th या latest member कौन सा देश है? Your options are Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka और Philippines. Which country has recently ratified Rome Statute and become member of ICC? Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka or Philippines? Okay, let's see how many of you can get this one right. So, which country has recently ratified Rome Statute and become 124th state party to the ICC? Charu says the PLA, that's incorrect. Akshay says D. Okay. So, neither D nor C. Right answer is option A. It was Malaysia. There are over, again, a current affairs based question, general knowledge based question. There are 705 tribes in our country which have been notified. The largest number of tribal communities are found in which state? सबसे ज़्यादा ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज किस स्टेट में हैं? योर ऑप्शंस आर मध्य प्रदेश, झारखंड, उड़ीसा और असम. मध्य प्रदेश, झारखंड, उड़ीसा और असम. There are over 705 tribes which have been notified. The largest number of tribal communities are found in which state? Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Odisha or Assam. Joji will go with Jharkhand, Charu with Madhya Pradesh. Ishan को तो नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. Okay, Sakshi will go with Assam. Charu says my state. Well, so if we look at percentage of people, answer would be different. Percentage share of tribals in the total population, answer would be different. If we look at number of people, answer would be different. That means total population. So percentage share of tribals का आंसर अलग होगा, total population of tribals का आंसर अलग होगा और largest number of tribes कहाँ पे मिलते हैं उसका आंसर अलग होगा. Correct answer for this one is option C, Odisha. Slightly difficult. In a significant judgment, which High Court allowed the rape charge against the husband to stand despite exception under section 375 of IPC? Which High Court gave this wonderful verdict where they have allowed the rape charge against the husband to stand despite the exception available under section 375? Your options are Gwalior High Court, Allahabad High Court, Karnataka High Court or Bombay High Court. Which High Court has allowed rape charges against her husband to stand despite the exception under section 375 of IPC? Okay, Sanika, that's correct. Jyoti, that's right. Ishan, you can't pick all 4. Charu, that's correct. Satesh, that's right. Sharon, that's right. Correct answer is option C. It was Karnataka High Court. Chaliye, exception dash of the section 375 create exception to the offense of rape. Okay, I didn't cover this one, so I can give you this answer as bonus. Right answer is exception 2. Okay, answer this one. The Supreme Court set a period of dash days which would be given to all such person who are eligible as on date to apply for the ex gratia compensation. How much time have been given to the people to apply for ex gratia compensation? Your options are 40 days, 60 days, 75 days or 90 days. How much time has been given by the Supreme Court to the people for applying for the ex gratia compensation related to COVID? Akshaya, that's incorrect. Sanjana, that's incorrect. Joji, that's incorrect. Sakshi gave the correct answer. Arnav, that's right. Harshada, that's right. Correct answer is option B here. Court gave them 60 days to apply for COVID compensation. But let's say if the application gets rejected or something goes wrong, they will get a period of dash days for future complaints. So later on you can complain within the next how many days? Options are again 60, 70, 80 or 90. So initially they gave you 2 months. If there is some issue with your application, then you get a further time limit of. Charu gave the correct answer this time. What about others? So then you get 90 days. So you get 3 months to file a complaint if you want to. Okay guys. So this was it for today. Thank you so much for attending this session. Do provide your feedback. Don't forget to hit that like button and keep on liking, sharing and subscribing. याद रखिए बांटने से ज्ञान बढ़ता है और साथ में subscribers भी. If you like what we are doing, appreciate us. If you don't like what we are doing, provide us feedback. We will try to rectify and improve. Thank you so much. We'll meet again. Bye.